They are like things you encounter in a dream. And staying on in a dream is not a healthy state. This is joyous, this is sorrowful, this is mine, but that is not mine. Such thoughts continue to agitate the mind of the ignorant. But the wise, such thoughts are totally dispelled. Dispelled means you rise beyond, thoughts are there. Waves are there, but the ocean is beyond the waves. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Om. Adorations to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasistha, Upashama Prakarana. We are going towards section 41. Prahlada's devotion has come to its climax. And that's the topic. And that's not just for Prahlad, that's for every soul's goal. Your goal is to become whole. You don't attain the goal, you stay in the hole. In the process of practice of Samadhi, Prahlad had stayed on in Samadhi without waking up, without assuming normal consciousness. And Lord Vishnu came to help Prahlad. And that aspect reminds you, turns your attention to role of devotion on the path leading to liberation. And Gita puts it in a very profound way. Upadrasta Anumanta cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshvara. As devotion enters, prior to devotion, you are all focused only on your effort. And you go through lots of exhaustion, perspiration without inspiration. That stage begins to fade away, allowing a process of spontaneity. When we say spontaneity, that doesn't mean that things become easy, but they become cheesy. You are struggling and it's not purposeless. There is a sense of internal fulfillment, an internal joy. That's what I mean, cheesy. So, and the steps describe Anumanta. First stage is Upadrasta. Upadrasta means prior to your devotional insight, prior to the entering into the realm of devotion, each time you become frustrated, you face emptiness. No one in the world can help. Now devotion enters. Now each time you come to that same state, your mind reminds you someone is looking over you. Even when you were a baby, you didn't know who you were. God was looking after you, looking over you. Your mind now begins to handle that you are not the only one solving all your problems. God has been 99% of your personality, God is handling. You don't know yourself, you don't know your nails, you don't know your hair, you don't know your winking. I'm joking, but not joking at the same time. Countless things around you, you don't know about it. But they are all happening in the world. Who is doing it? God is doing it. That God is a loving relation starts. So he's looking after you. Even though you don't see him, but he is hiding. And you have the feeling of that protection. God is like an umbrella. Amba, amba, relala. This stage leads you to the next stage, Upadrasta, Anumanta. Anumanta means now we begin to understand whether your sadhana is on the right track or not. As if someone internally begins to give approval or leads you away from a wrong movement. Approval when you are the right movement. How does that approval comes? Internally you feel inspired. It feels joyous. That implies that now, whenever you are on the right track, there's an internal source of joyousness. Means God is approving. And whenever you are on a wrong track, there is some obstruction comes in. And so you begin to develop that type of state of understanding blended with your state of heart. That God is not only looking after you, but very closely watching over you, and when you do the right thing, God comes like a mother, putting a pat on the back. You are doing well, my baby. And if you are going in a negative way, the divine motherly hand can scold you, can push you back. Immediately you may not understand the love, but later you thank. So that's Anumanta level. God approves as well as disapproves, depending upon where you are going. More mature, God is your soul, beloved, support. His love for you is not limited, conditioned by anything. The sun supports its reflected sun. Figure that out. But that's only a simile. God supports. God is your Bharta, beloved supporter. And come to another level. It is God who is enjoying through your personality. He is the Bhokta. Your personality is not meant for the fulfillment of your ego. Ego goes on experiencing pleasure, pain, sustaining lots of desires. But that level comes to higher level of maturity, a deeper understanding that as you go through ego effacement, as you advance, first stage, egoism keeps your head heavy. When ism begins to move away and only ego is there, that ego is transparent. That ego does not hurt you. And through that ego, that is free of egoism, now you realize that everything that is occurring through your mind, thought, word, and deed, he is the one. And you look for yourself and you have no place for yourself. Then a shocking revelation, I am him, he is me. That now bhakti has reached its highest. Aham Brahmasmi. Bharta, Bhokta, Maheshvara. God of gods am I. Prahlad was awakened by Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu said, O Prahlad, perform the duties of a ruler here in your world until the termination of your Prarabdha karma. Then you will become a Videha Mukta, whether with or without the body, you are ever one with Brahman, the absolute self. Simply pointing out, you will attain liberation while you are still with body. But from your point of view, it doesn't make any difference. Because body identity is not sustained, is not reality for the mind of a sage. So when you already know it is illusion, you don't miss it. You missed your wonderful ring. But then you realize the ring was not real gold. It was some child who gave you some type of ordinary stuff. Having known that, now you would not have to worry about it. Whether it was on your finger or was not, doesn't make any difference. But that's quickly said, but that's a goal to realize, to become whole. King Prahlada gradually woke up from his Samadhi and said, O Lord, I have been exhausted because of constant concern for the gods and the demons. Therefore, I have taken a momentary rest. All this is highly allegorical, but I will explain to you. As an aspirant in your sadhana, there is a constant concern to rid the mind of the negative and fill the mind with the positive. Fill the mind with godly virtues and empty the mind of demoniac qualities. That's for gods and demons. They are creating such problems. People were just studying from the storyline in their mind, oh, Prahlad, he had two big asuri subjects he had to look after. And then gods were always not exactly in harmony with the asuri forces. So that created a historical problem for Prahlad. But for wise aspirant, it's a hysterical problem. You're not solving the problem between gods and demons. You're solving the problem between vices and virtues. And vices and virtues, they come from the same source of Prakriti energy. Energy short-circuited becomes vices. Rightly channelized, virtues. So vices and virtues, they create a lot of stress in your mind. How is it I have not developed this virtue, that? And how can I push away anger? Muscle has to be toned well. But this type of stress, how can I develop virtue and how can I kill or destroy all negative? That state of effort in your sadhana moves away. It becomes sahaja. So that's what Prahlada is telling to Lord Vishnu. Constantly being involved with effort. Now he had the chance through Samadhi, he came to a spontaneous state. And he became so joyous, he slipped into deep Samadhi. Called Sananda Samadhi. And that has to be corrected by God, who is his Upadrasta, Anumanta. He is the guiding mother behind him. And that applies to everyone. If you have risen to a high level of purity, God takes over your movement without you telling you what he is doing. I have taken a momentary rest, but now by your grace, I have discovered my essential nature. Now I am the immutable self, whether with Samadhi or without Samadhi. Now he has come to ideal state. Effort is not needed. All the time you talk about attain self-realization. But self-realization is a revelation of the self. All the time, when the sun is hidden by the clouds, there is a constant effort by the masses how to bring light. But if cloud moves away, effort has no role there. Simple way to understand, everything becomes more and more sahaja, spontaneous. In the beginning, you are trying to control your anger, your irritation, your bitterness. As you advance, you begin to wonder, what used to make me bitter? When there was nothing but butter. You wonder. You don't need to read something or to be told by others how controlling the anger is a good thing. Your own inner taste of how joyous it is not to let mind stoop to unnecessary mud. And that becomes spontaneous. O adorable God, for a long time I have meditated upon you through the internalized flow of mind. But now, due to my great fortune, I am able to behold your form, even with my own physical eyes. It's explaining, first point, that now he is in a state where it is samadhi for him, whether he is internalized, close the eyes, or whether he is externalized, open the eyes and doing things. He is always in samadhi. And in sadhana movement, first stage, internalized aspect is emphasized. Don't go after the world, sit down in your puja room and withdraw your mind and go on asking who is, what guides the senses? Your mind. What guides the mind? Your intellect. What guides the intellect? Cosmic mind. Who am I? The I in you is illusory. I is Satchidananda. Aham Brahmasmi. Internalized, you have come to a level of that understanding. All is not all. I am Brahman. But still your eyes are closed. Still, there is some more embellishment has to be done to this experience. You don't need to stay on one pose. Even when you externalize your mind, you have to understand that externalization should not disturb your vision, I am Brahman. Externalization should inspire you as much as your internalization. Why? Because now you begin to see that Brahman is the reality behind all names and forms. Internalized movement, your mind is working upon who am I? I am not the body, I am not the prana. Internalized. Externalized movement, all is Satchidananda. Names and forms are illusory. So whatever you are handling has four aspects. Let it be any object, a spoon, shoes, human beings, animals, birds, all, no matter whatever object you are handling. It has three ingredients: asti, priya, and bhati. That matches up with Sat Chit Ananda. Everything exists, and it brings delight to you when you know it. You can experience the object by your awareness. And it becomes a source of joy. But the three things, asti, sat, existence. To make it simple, I will just keep with Sat Chit Ananda. Existence, awareness, and Ananda, bliss. And these three blend with projection of mind, creating names and forms. Names and forms become so highlighted to human mind that you forget about Satchidananda that is behind. You look at the whole world around you, all the trees, what you are seeing, existence, Sat in various expressions. And next level of the Sat is Chit. All this is content of consciousness. All reflections are contents of a lake. Reflections have no reality. Lake is the real. Putting one more aspect level, all is Ananda, when there is absolutely no pain and thing is of fullness. It is absolutely fulfilling, blissful. So Satchidananda is the reality. So not only your project is to discover God within you and you are one with God, but the entire world and every little detail of the world, nothing but Brahman. Put them two together, that's the mature, well realized Brahman. I had retired to Samadhi. Now all this verbosity, Prahlada goes on saying, Lord Vishnu doesn't need to hear all those. But you must realize this is art of giving teaching to all the spiritual seekers. Like Krishna gave to Arjuna. But Arjuna didn't keep the Gita in his pocket. The Gita was formed as a communication with Krishna and Arjuna. So that's another aspect. Prahlada is presenting the state of his mind and as if he is sharing with God, Lord Vishnu. As I've already explained, this is done for so that it can be listened to and heard by all people. You don't talk to God in practical reality. I had retired to Samadhi not because of grief, delusion, or fear of the world. That's the healthy state of sadhana. In the early state, because of fear, because of so many struggles, because of your helplessness, you have no choice but to turn to God. Advanced state, you have realized God is your loving mother. Now, why bother with so many other details? So, come under the guidance of God. Same meditation now you are doing out of joyousness. You have no choice but to keep your mind relaxed because there is nothing vexing, nothing taxing. I had retired to Samadhi not because of grief, delusion, or fear of the world. Not by grief, not by delusion, not because you are compelled by fear. And I had not intended to discard this body. I have attained insight into the fact that I am the self and not this body. Therefore, the question of giving up the body did not arise. That again, deep down, that should be your simple understanding. All the rituals people go through, the date of one's departure. And every year, relatives will come and do certain ritual and remember and grieve. That to an enlightened mind or even mature mind, you don't have to be enlightened, is ridiculous. The body you have possessed has gone through many deaths, even in while you are alive. I'm not talking figurative. Through many incarnations, your body is, all the cells are renewed. So you don't have the same body, not any single cell from your babyhood. And that has gone on. So which body you are going after? And even though the body moves away and you are still there, you become more younger and more vital. As the old body moves away, where did it go? You don't know. You feel more surprised, it becomes a part of your cabbage and carrots. Don't be too upset. All objects are Brahman. Whatever you eat, whatever you smell, all, all experiences in your dream are your own consciousness. That point has to be understood. I've attained insight into the fact that I am the self and not this body. Therefore, the question of giving up the body did not arise. It's a big problem to face mortality. But the problem becomes childish when you have deeper understanding, mature understanding that body is only a residence. You live in a house, but you don't worry about the mortality of the house. Some people do, but childish. But this does not mean that you ignore the body. It's your residence. So take care of the body, do all the details, but not with this helpless identity. I am the body and I have no choice. I must find myself, I must retire to face the dying movement. O great divinity, such thoughts as I am renouncing the world, I am supremely dispassionate, arise in those who are ignorant. The idea of people, again, early level of aspirant, develop so much stress and also an affirmation. I have been such a great hero that I have renounced so many things. So many of the mediocre sannyasis have that. They begin to demand, look, I was going to have a big land owner, but I have renounced it. So the disciples feel the greatness of the Guru. But for mature understanding, this is ridiculous. Things that don't belong to you, renounce. The asserting, I have renounced the world, I have become supremely dispassionate. These thoughts arise, the affirmations in the minds of the ignorant. Overpowered by these, the ignorant continue to suffer. Each time you have a challenging situation, your mind goes on suffering. How much have I renounced? How much more you want, oh God? From the point of view of the enlightened, there is nothing to renounce. For this world is nothing but Brahman. In other words, if you have come to the grip of understanding nothing exists, nothing belongs to me. I'm neither mind nor body, immortal self am I. If you come to the grip of this, not in palabra, but in deep understanding, then the question of I have owned so much and have renounced so much, all that, and the very understanding behind your I, the I that is asserting it, that in itself is not your reality. So therefore have patience. Come to satsanga. Follow integral yoga in your daily life. The ignorant believe that pain is related to the body, and therefore only after the death of the body will pain cease. That's, masses go through that, and so those who are unable to handle their psychological problems, only thing that suggests quickly to the mind, put an end to this body. Simple solution. No body, no pain. But it doesn't end your pain. You are simply creating more pain unwittingly for yourself. Because now, same karmas you have to go through in another body if you kill this body. And the nature has to work, bring about another embodiment. So your pain has not gone away. You have been chloroformed for a while. But your disease doesn't go away if you are in that state. So first point to understand, the age does not relate to you. The real you has now no age to it. So celebrate your birthday, but more in a leela, sport, not as a reality. And don't go after the illusion of the blessing. May you live long. You don't know what you are asking. But blessing is always to realize, who am I? May you be with God. Adios. When the intuitional knowledge of the self dispels the illusion of body identification, then only pain ceases to exist. This turns your attention to how all philosophical systems work upon 4 points. Firstly, to understand pain. And the explanation is given, no matter how prosperous you are, pain has not ended. Sarvam dukkha vivekina. Every situation that you face in your life, if it is not fulfilling the purpose of your life, then it is nothing but a form of pain. Fulfilling the purpose means leading you to get involved with your sadhana, integral yoga for attaining liberation. In the state of, in the unenlightened state, all things that you encounter, they are like things you encounter in a dream. And staying on in a dream is not a healthy state. This is joyous, this is sorrowful, this is mine, but that is not mine. Such thoughts continue to agitate the mind of the ignorant. But the wise, such thoughts are totally dispelled. Dispelled means you rise beyond, thoughts are there. The waves are there, but the ocean is beyond the waves. All the reflected suns and all illuminations coming from the sun are there, but the sun is beyond all. Not realizing that state of fulfillment, staying anywhere without realizing, that's pain. And that point has to be learned. No matter how happy you are, if that happiness has not contributed to your Godward movement, it is sheer pain. O God of gods, I am ready to resume my duty as a king. May you accept my ritualistic worship and offerings. This is to satisfy the masses. He ends up with ritual, because at least those who are not in a high level can begin with rituals of worship. Every step has its own importance. Children grow, no matter how ridiculous things are needed. Children are entertained by so many little toys, so many stories are told, and they go through all this for you. So in their setting, all that is important. So rituals are very important for the masses, because they draw their mind. They go on drawing again and again. Then some of them become more sensitive. They go into deeper. They become interested in stories of Rama, Krishna. Sometimes they argue why Rama hid himself behind the bushes. He was such a great personality. He should have just come directly, killed Bali. I'm joking, but that, yes. That type of interest in scripture gradually is leading them to deeper. Satsanga begins to touch their heart, and you are providing opportunities for your best instinct within yourself. So all that's the role of ritual. But staying in that level only, you may be advanced and continue to do ritual, but ritual will not take over all your time. Sage Vasistha continued, thus saying, King Prahlada performed the worship of Lord Vishnu, who was adorned with divine ornaments, and who bore in his 4 hands Conch, Lotus, Mace, and Discus. All these are 4 yogas. Conch is the awakener, Jnana Yoga. Lotus is devotion, bhakti. Mace, dhyana, practice of meditation that hits upon your mind more again and again. And self-effort, karma in your daily life. That's the chakra, because the karma brings the divine grace and makes amazing changes in your life. Sangha, chakra, gada, padma. The soul becomes aware of these four aspects. Then the reality of the soul, Vishnu, appears with all the four. Highly pleased with King Prahlada, Lord Vishnu accepted his offerings and had him sit upon the royal throne with his blessings. Lord Vishnu said, O king, may you continue to rule this earth until the termination of your Prarabdha karma. May you maintain a mind that is free of attachment, fear, and anger. These are the highlights of impurities. You are enlightened. Therefore, you do not need any more instructions. Now, all things that were needed for aspirant, they are all transcended in the state of enlightenment. But though he may himself do not need it, but his activities will continue to the masses exactly as if he is a normal personality. Until his body moves away, led by the law of Prarabdha. That's our topic in the next insight into Prarabdha of the sages. Having thus showered his blessings, Lord Vishnu disappeared. And King Prahlada resumed his royal duties with an enlightened mind. Just like we have the story of King Janaka. Though enlightened, he lives with his body. Though living with the body, he is called bodiless, Vide. And with this, I will conclude. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.